just how excited are you for your first Old Firm game as Rangers head coach?
Yeah, very exciting. I think I had some experience, but I expect a big one on Sunday. I think this is very love this game, to be part of such a game. It's all or nothing. You win, you come in the final, you lose, you're out. I think everything is on for a great game.
How much did you follow this fixture back in Germany growing up? It's of course a world famous game. Is it something that you would watch on the TV as a kid?
Yeah, in general, I think when you see such a games in the TV, then you always enjoy because there's always action, drama, intensity, goals, tight games, fighting spirit on the pitch. Will be a good one.
What do you think a win against Celtic could do for this team going forward? Do you think it could give them a lift, perhaps a springboard for the season?
Yeah, it means we come in the final. I think this is a big result to do this, and we could keep a great week with 3 wins in a row. I think it would be fantastic. And of course, you feel it today as well in the meeting room. You feel it on the pitch and training room. At the moment, the positive energy is really back. The league is there. We watched the game back in the morning. I showed them some clips of what we did, which effort we had in the game, willingness, character, good structure against the ball. And even, second half we had not always so much ball possession, but it doesn't matter because they could not really break our first line, and it was a great job.
Danny, you've succeeded in making the team harder to play against, harder to get opportunities against, but how much many more levels do you think this team's going to have to go in terms of its attacking output for it to get through against a strong Celtic team?
Yeah, that will come because for me it's always then on the ball something with self-confidence. If you have more self-confidence, you see it on the pitch because then players ask more for the ball. They're more active because they know even we lose the ball, we are connected. I think in the last 2 games our counter pressing is much better. They are really sharp. I look to I think it was the third one and the 1-0 both after counter pressing. I think this is good. It's not just counter pressing on the ball, it's also how we protect our back from the teammate. I think this is a good step, but we know it's still a next step, not a big step, and from this we have to work.
You've been involved in big rivalries before. I'm thinking Bayern versus Dortmund. I mean, is a fixture like that in any way prepare you for what you've been told you're going to face in the Old Firm?
Yeah, it helps of course when you be part. I can remember when Hans Flick took over, our second game was at home against Dortmund. We won 4-0. It is always a booster, if you win such a game as well. In the championship at the Steel Derby, I was also part there. I know what it means for the fans. This is more than just a game, and I think with the spirit we should go in such a game.
Danny, you've obviously not been in the job that long, but managed to put 2 wins together. How pleasing is it that how quickly the players are taking your ideas on board?
It's always good when you feel that the ideas come straight to results. I said in the morning to my coach, it would be good to play my first game again. Maybe we will take a different result. I feel this at the moment, but of course it's up to my players at the moment. I can give them a lot of ideas, but they're really listening and they bring it with a good character on the pitch, and I think this is fantastic to see. But even we know it's just 2 steps forward, not more.
Can I ask about Yusuf Chernity? He's had maybe a bit of a tricky start to his Rangers career. Do you think a game like Sunday he could really make his mark in a Rangers shirt and really make himself known as a Rangers player?
Even, also Yusuf, this guy, I must say this, he scored, and what we not should forget on the last game, how he worked against the ball was much better. He looked to each other, he scanned, he started to understand the pressing triggers. I think it was good to see him, and of course goals helps, and if you score in such a big games, then it helps more.
Do you feel like with the forwards you have, a front pairing is really the best way to go?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see which choice I make in the starting 11. I think this is the good thing when you rotate and then players perform well, then you have more problems as a manager because you have to take more decisions, hard decisions sometimes. but even on the game we saw during the week what it means to rotate, because you win players back, and I feel that now more and more. Of course, you have also some players that are at the moment a little bit more disappointed, but a lot of players growing up, you see it when you look to the faces, and this is good to see. Yeah, to have more and more players available. We need this.
I think Martin O'Neill's managed 27 games in this fixture between Celtic and Rangers. How do you feel about coming up against a manager with such vast experience in this fixture?
Yeah, it's first big respect to such a coaching career. I think this is always great as a manager when you work so long in this business and you are successful. I think this is great. I'm just at the beginning of my career. I have a lot of work to do to come to this point, and from this year. But the good thing is we start by 0-0, different generations, and let's see what we can bring with our teams in this game.
On Monday, before Martin O'Neill took the job, he said Rangers are no threat whatsoever. They're so far adrift, it's untrue. What do you make of those comments?
I think for me it's always important to focus on myself. I'm not the coach to look too much to other teams, because you have to do a lot of works. At the moment you have to do a lot of things right here. My focus is on my team. What other coaches said around is for me not so important.
Can you use that as motivation for the players on Sunday?
I think it's not necessary to have such a word for motivation. My teams or my players are really motivated for such a game. Everybody wants to play this game because they want to be part in this game, and they want to be part of a successful team.
Danny, how significant could a positive result be on Sunday in terms of not just galvanising the players and what you're trying to do here, but getting the kind of fans behind you as well, and really kind of turning the corner on that front, and maybe kind of a real signs of improvement for the rest of the season?
Yeah, general 3 wins in a row gives us a massive boost. I think this is what I see. I know when I arrived the busy schedule and a lot of big games during my first 3 weeks. Now we have 2 wins, and on Sunday we have the next chance to take the next step forward. And of course, to go in the final would be very happy.
In terms of you being in the door 3 games now, I guess you'll have been assessing your squad. Where are you in terms of knowing, best kind of formations, best positions, that sort of thing?
I have more and more informations. I really that helps to select my team, also to see what you get from impact players from the bench, what you get from players, and which position. I must really say it's a different feeling to my first game. But still we are in some processes, because some players didn't get the chance until now to show. This is then also part of hopefully the next 3 games to see who can help us. And then after the first 6 games, my first 6 games, of course, then we will sit together, and then I will make my notice and to see which players help really. With some players you will be really surprised. I would say this, Connor for example, is a good guy. It's a shame that he's suspended for this game on the weekend, but he stepped up. But I think there are a lot of positive impression at the moment.
Danny, what have you seen from your squad just across the last few days that lends itself to a belief that you're capable of going into Hampden on Sunday and coming out with the right result?
Yeah, it's lively. I think this is most key at the moment. When you arrive, then of course the players look to you and okay, which ideas has the new manager, and then you go to the first game, you have a defeat, and then I think it was crucial on one side. Yeah, we lost this game, but I think we won after this game a lot of things, and for me it was also important to understand my players, the plays more and more, what is important. And I think also the last 2 games helped me now to understand more and more the league, because when you arrive you can watch videos, but you have to feel the opponents, and this helps a lot in the last couple of days.
You guys to finish, please.
Danny, I remember a quote a couple of years ago, a few years ago now actually, from Julian Nagelsmann about how management is only 30% about tactics and 70% about relationships and social competence. How much do you believe in that? Because it's very clear after only a week that you've built a strong connection with not only the players but the supporters as well.
Yeah, it's true. One thing is really the tactical part, to give them some advices, some ideas, but we should not forget these are humans. I think this is a crucial part. Human being, if you bring this together with your ideas and you create belief and the connection, then you have really a strong environment where you can growing up, and then you can also come through to some different moments. And this is the moment what I see in the last 6-7 days, that a lot of things goes in the right direction. But again, it was just 2 steps, not more. We know this, and in this we have to work hard to keep this momentum, to make the next step. And I said this, I know it will be also a moment where you have a small setback. It could be, but for us it's really focus on the wins and create more and more. But the moment goes really in the right direction.
I just wondered, have you any closer to appointing somebody else to your backroom, your coaching staff?
We have some meetings today, next meeting, and I think the schedule should be latest in the international break that we have sorted this part as well. Yeah, it's very important that we sit together. I speak with Kevin about this to look to the candidates. I think this should be a good fit because he spoke about relationship, what is now important for the players, which direction we need, which kind of profile we need to make the next steps.
Danny, you seem like a very calm, collected guy. How do you stay calm, and how important is it in these big, massive games?
Yeah, I will explain this a little bit. I think I'm trying to be a good mirror in front of my group. If you are very nervous as a manager, the players look to you. I try to give them as well this calmness, to give them the belief and the conviction that we prepared well and we can go and we know what we have to do, and if you do this, then it helps massive. But you have to ask more the players how I look in front of the game. But for me it's really important that I'm still calm.
I was going to say, will the players see another side to you eventually? You know, that kind of fire?
Yeah, I think it could be sometimes on fire. I think in the halftime it doesn't work, or after the game. But I think this is also part when you're a manager at the beginning of your career. You will also learn. I think I learned a lot in the last 2 years in Sheffield, and I took my reflection in the summer, what I have to do, what I have to avoid, and every day it's about learning, preparation, and from this part, hopefully I make all the right things.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.